created a 4-step system called the WANT system. And that's want as in WANT. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the Comfort Zone 360. My name is Davey and I'm your host. And this podcast is designed to give you the tools and tactics and different techniques that you can utilize in your everyday life to just become that much closer to success. And I've created this podcast essentially to share a lot of the different things that I've learned in my personal growth and in my financial growth and business growth as well, so that you guys can utilize this in your everyday life. I'm a transformational coach and I work with people essentially to better their lives and transition their lives from where they are today to where they want to be tomorrow. And it's time essentially that they get into that position. So on today's podcast, we're going to talk about one of my most favorite topics, and that's how to get motivated. Motivation is one of those things that it's very, very difficult to kind of just continue doing over and over. And without the proper tactics and techniques that you have in place, motivation just dies off. It's not fun anymore. Nobody wants to do it. And then you lose interest in what you're truly doing, and you never know what will happen. And I mean, you'll never know what will happen if you stop losing interest in what you truly are going for. And sometimes, we set goals. We set goals in life that we want to be better. I set a goal in life that I wanted to learn how to write a book. It came to a point in my life where I was like, you know what, that's just a little hobby. I don't really got to focus on it. I'm going to worry about it. But not knowing that the transition from starting a book to finishing a book, that journey itself is so rewarding. So, don't lose sight of your motivation. Don't lose sight of your goals, because what happens is when you put those two together, it creates a combustion of success that, boy, oh boy, you will definitely, truly love. How many times have we tried to do something and we really, really wanted to do it, but one little roadblock stopped us from doing it, and we didn't go anywhere with it. We decided to just stay stagnant. We decided to stay back. We decided not to make anything out of it. Well, I'm here to tell you today, it's time to make something out of it. It's time to make a decision that can honestly alter and even change the course of your life. I had to make that change. I had to make that transition. I had to be that person that I truly wanted to be that I didn't know I could be. Growing up, I grew up in poverty, grew up in very, very low-level neighborhoods, low-level schools. So I didn't have a lot of the different tools that I needed to truly be a successful person without living the economical tools that we had to deal with and all the different struggles that, growing up I had to deal with essentially. And it's just struggles that everyday people deal with. I'm not the only one. I'm not saying I'm the only one struggling in the world, or I was the only one that was, a troubled child, or I didn't have really good grades in school. I didn't really care for school in it per se, but I didn't have a sense of trying to be accomplished. I didn't have a sense of trying to be better. And aligning my goals with what I really, really, truly want to do gives me the ability to do whatever I want. And when I didn't have those things in place, it took that ability away from me. It took it away from me to where I couldn't do nothing about it. I couldn't be the person I wanted to be. I couldn't go after for what I wanted to go after. And I truly was lost in that transition. And I literally became a mindless robot. Go to work, go home, cook, go to work, go home, cook, go to work, go home, cook. I pushed family away. I pushed friends away. The only thing that I had purpose was paying my bills. And it was up until 25 years old that I realized my purpose is wrong. My purpose shouldn't be to just take care of bills. My purpose shouldn't be to work to maintain just a bill. And I didn't have anything else. I didn't have, time to go out with friends. I didn't have time to go have a drink. I didn't have time to do any of that because I was so focused on making sure that I could pay my bills that I burned myself out. You've been there before. I've been there before. I've met thousands of people that have been there before. And that feeling of burning out just honestly demotivates you across the board, demotivates you from doing anything. And it doesn't allow you to continue to flourish into that amazing person you truly are. It just, it comes down to where about 7 years ago, I was working for a property management company, and getting the job was great. You know what I mean? Like that euphoric feeling that everybody gets when they get the new job and they start working, they go through training, and it's all great, right? Your first 2 weeks of training or work or whatever the case is an amazing thing. You start saying, oh, I love my job. I love my job. And after that, essentially, it's those feelings that begin to die off, right? You don't have a motivation to maintain those feelings. You don't have a keepsake to put those feelings in. They just begin to dissolve, right? And that's like when the curtain drops. When the curtain drops, it exposes the true visual of the stage, right? And that's what's happening right now. And that's what happened to me. The curtain dropped, and those feelings of, am I doing this right? Or do I like what I do? Do I love what I do? You start questioning yourself. You start questioning every single step, right? It even comes down to where there's some mornings that I would truly just not want to roll out of bed. I didn't have a sense of wanting to do this. If it wasn't for my kids that I had essentially at that time, or if it wasn't for knowing I had to pay the rent, I wouldn't want to get up. I didn't have that will to get up. It was almost like I was forcing myself each and every day. And eventually you get tired of forcing yourself. You get tired of having to force yourself, that you do something that can benefit you. And when you don't do the things that benefit you or don't do the things that make you happy, then you can't truly be happy at what you do. And I've been victim of that. I've been in those positions. I've worked at a job essentially that I didn't want to get out of bed. I just stared at the ceiling for hours. You know how many times I've gone to work late and they still haven't fired me? Crazy. But I always allowed the decision of my life to be left in someone else's hands. And when I lost the motivation to just be better, I also lost the ability to make the decisions that I need to make to change the course of my life. And that hurt. That hurt in a way. It hurt not because of the transition of doing it for quite so long, but it hurt because it finally hit me in the face. You aren't in control of your life. You're letting your life be controlled by someone else. And it's all because I didn't have the motivation to dictate or even learn a better path for my life. I'm sure y'all been there. I'm sure you've been there on multiple occasions. You're working this job, you hate it, and you make it vocal. You make it known that you don't like this job at all, right? You tell your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever you're in a relationship with, essentially, you let them know. You tell your friends, you tell your best friend, you tell even your coworkers sometimes. Yeah, I hate this job. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired of it. Right? But sometimes we realize, are we tired of it to better ourselves? Are we tired of it to just continuing the complaining process aspect of it? Because when we complain, I'm not going to lie, sometimes it feels good. Sometimes it's natural to just to be able to complain about things. Sometimes it's natural to not want to do anything. Sometimes it's truly natural for people to be negative out there, and they love it. And it's because they've allowed themselves to stay trapped in that for so long that the imminent thought of change, it's impossible. I'm here to tell you today it's not. It's not impossible. It's not impossible to change, and it's not impossible to stay motivated. It's that time that you wake up. You inside know what it's like. Only you. I can't tell you what you feel inside. I can only relate to you when you speak to me about it, or I can relate to you on a level that you can understand what I'm saying. But it's time. It's time that you take your life to the next level. Transforming your life is no walk in the park. But when you realize you can transform your life by walking through the park, then you don't know what endless possibilities there truly are. You have to ignite that fire within. You know that feeling that's just hiding in the back, right? Or that question that keeps lingering in the back of your head. You sit here, or you sit at home, you sit in your car, you sit at your lunch break, wherever, and you internally say, what am I doing? Why am I not happy doing this? What am I doing wrong? Well, it's not what you're doing wrong. It's just what you're not doing. You're not being you. There's plenty of other me's in the world, or there's plenty of other people in the world, but something about you creates a footprint that no one else can fulfill. You want a better life. And some of us don't want better lives. Some of us have great lives the way it is, but we just got little things in our lives that we just want to tweak little by little. Well, I'm here to tell you that you, before anyone else, is in control of your life. You have the decision to walk forward, backwards, left, or right. You have the decision to make anything possible in your life. And when you learn that you can fulfill that need internally, or fulfill that question you've been asking yourself, or fulfill that thought of endless possibilities, and you learn life is limitless. I don't want to live a life being limited, and neither do you. Now, I'm not telling you you have to go do exactly what I say, but I'm giving you a couple of things that can truly benefit your life. You just have to put a little bit of work behind it. You have to put a little bit of will. And this will right here will truly allow you to see a life that you could not have imagined. Davey, you talk about transformation, you talk about change, you're talking about being better, you're talking about having a better life, but how do we do it? Is it the motivation that we got to maintain? Is it the dedication we have to, continue keeping? Is it the consistency? Is it the discipline? These are all common words that you hear in this industry. And I used to tell some of my clients the same thing. To be a better you got to stay motivated. To be a better you got to stay dedicated to your arts. Right? How do you stay motivated? How do you stay dedicated? How do you do those things? And for quite some time, I didn't have the answer. I said, you know what? That's an amazing, amazing question. I'll get back to you when I get the answer, essentially. But I not only found the answer, I found a solution. And of course, before anything that I want to put into play, I've got to try it first, right? Because at the end of the day, my actions speak louder than any word that I'm going to say. So I had to put it into play. How am I going to take this one thing and place it in a format that's going to benefit each and every one of us? You know? And I've unlocked it. And the way I unlocked it is because I wanted it. I wanted this change. I wanted this opportunity for better. Want, essentially, is the key point to this. I've created a 4-step system called the want system. And that's want as in WANT. And this 4-step system has taken my life and just leveled me up on a whole different ballgame. You know, before this system, I was staying motivated. I was doing what I got to do. I just have to keep working, right? No matter what I got to do at work, I just got to work, essentially, to better myself. I have to keep going. I have to show up every day. I have to be disciplined to keep going. I have to be consistent in what I'm doing, right? So I had the consistency. I had the dedication. I had everything, the tools I needed to be successful. But the motivation was one of the most important things. How do I get motivated? Well, in this 4-step system called the want system, there's 4 different sections of this. And each section has a different process that you have to endure to contribute to being motivated. And it's one of the systems that not only have I put into play, but I've continuously used still to this day. You know, I even have my kids use this system. They want something, they're going to go after it. But there's a way to go after it, right? So to break down this 4-step system, you might want to write this down. This is very important, and this is something you can utilize in your everyday life. So don't let it pass you by. Don't let your success or your opportunity disappear. You know, sometimes our opportunity window is so small that once we miss it, we never know when the next opportunity is going to come up. So, are you ready to start taking steps towards those opportunities that can honestly alter your future and your life? Well, the first step in the want system, it's write. Or writing, I shall say. In the want system, you are required to write what you want. You know, and that's as simple as you know, taking a sheet of paper, essentially. And at the top of the sheet of paper, you're going to write what you want to accomplish. If that's buying a car, buying a home, or buying a brand new camera for something you want to do, whatever the case is, take that piece of paper and at the top of it, write what you want. You know, that gives you the topic of your internal motivation, essentially. Now, once that's done, the body of everything, you're going to make a bullet point list of all the different tasks you have to complete. Every single one of them that you have to complete to make your want a reality. That's all you got to do for the first step. Just write everything down. Write what you want to do and all the different tasks that you have to complete, right? Once that's done, we're going to move on to the second section of the want system. And that's action. We all know what action means. It's time that you do something about that want. All right? You already know what you want, and you know all the different tasks and things you have to complete to go after it. So what are you waiting for? It's time you start. It's time you start. It's time that you take the ability to truly change the course of your life. It's time that you start attacking every individual task on that list, one by one. I'm not saying go and create the list, create everything you have to get done, and then complete everything in one day. You're going to overwhelm yourself, and you're going to shoot down your dreams. Don't do that to yourself. You deserve better than that. What you can do is write all your tasks down and start attacking them one by one. Even if you have to organize all your tasks in order from the easiest task that can be done free at that to the more complex and difficult tasks that have to be done towards the end. And all you have to do is start finishing them. You have to actually complete every single task you do. And by doing that, you start feeding yourself the sense of accomplishment. You start giving yourself the necessities to start moving the third step. The third step in the want system is natural self-reward. What's a natural self-reward, they say? We all got it. We were all born with this. We all have the ability to reward ourselves and make ourselves feel good. Natural self-reward, also known as the good feel-good chemical in your body called dopamine. This feel-good chemical, when you start accomplishing those little tasks, this little feel-good chemical starts moving in your body. You feel good. You're like, oh, I did that. Yeah, I did that. Oh, I finished that. I did it. It was me. Right? But when that starts to happen, you need to give yourself the appreciation and the self-gratitude. You need to show yourself you appreciate what you did. You need to show yourself a congratulations. Not because you have the expectation of someone else giving it to you, but that you have the expectation of a better future because you are motivated to do it, not anyone else around you. Your motivation isn't dictated by what other dreamers say to you or what other people do or tell you what you can and cannot do. I've been told multiple times that I couldn't do something, and not to go out there and prove them wrong that I could do it, but just go do it because I wanted to do it, whether they said I was good at it or not. Do it. Do what makes you happy. The results will furnish themselves, right? They're going to furnish themselves, but do what makes you happy because no one else controls that. You know, I'm with my wife, and I've been with my wife for, well over 15 years, essentially. And when I'm with my wife, I'm very happy, and I love her very dearly. She is my world. Not because she controls my happiness, but because I've put her in the position to allow happiness to flourish. Don't sit out here and get fooled. Don't sit out here and be twisted that you think this is going to be a walk in the park. It's not. But if you put the motivation and the dedication to change your future, you can do anything you want. And then that brings us to the last piece of the want system, T. And this is called the motivation wheel, right? The more you keep attacking your list, all your different tasks that you had to do, the more you keep doing that, more and more and more, your motivation wheel is going to kind of like pick up little by little, and it's going to start churning and twisting, right? I like to look at the motivational wheel like if a kid is learning to ride the bike for the first time, right? For those of you that have ridden bikes and known that you weren't going to be a rock star from the get-go, the second you get that bike, you, my friend, was humbled with another friend called the floor, right? You hit the floor a few times. I sure did. I bounced actually a few times too, just to say, But that humble beginning begins with contact with the ground, right? And you and I both know the ground and contact is no-go. We can't do it. We don't want to do it. It hurts, all right? It hurts a lot at that. So you start to transition a couple of little things here and there. You start to balance yourself a little bit more. You start to align yourself, and then eventually something magical happens. You learn to ride a bike. You learn to ride a bike, and then you go. And those wheels are just going. Nothing is stopping you. So that's like the motivational wheel. You have to keep attacking your goals. And you have to keep working on all your little tasks to give yourself that dopamine in your system so that the dopamine in your system can start tipping that motivational wheel. Now, I am not going to tell you that you're going to jump on this motivational wheel and it's going to be an endless ride of gratitude and happiness and everything else in the book. Wrong. Just like professional cyclists, they fall off. I've seen bike riding events where professionals that have been riding for years have fallen off their bikes because they either hit a curve or something wrong. But one thing that they do that is so powerful is that they pick their bike up, they jump on it again, and they keep going. Don't stop. Don't allow yourself to stop. If you truly are dedicated to what you want to be in life, then you will stop at nothing to go after for what you want. That professional bike rider that fell in that race could have thought he has no chance to win, so he just stops right then and there. But instead, something inside him said, get up, get on that bike, and keep going. You never know what possibilities will come out of if you keep going. But one thing you can guarantee yourself is if you stop, so does everything else. Nothing will ever come out of that. Putting this want system, writing, action, natural, self-reward, and the motivational wheel, putting all this together will show you what you're truly capable of. I don't have to tell you what you're capable of. I don't have to meet you at all to tell you that you are capable of anything. But it's time that you start answering those questions that you've been asking yourself for quite some time. It's time that you start addressing your true purpose. Don't let it waste you. It's beneficial. It's beneficial for you. It's beneficial for your future. You know, there's two sets of people in this world. There's leaders and followers. I've played on both parties. Now it's time for you to decide which party you want to be associated with. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an amazing, amazing first podcast, being able to spend some time with you guys here today. I really do appreciate you taking your time and just being able to connect with me on such a amazing level. You truly deserve a lot more than you're giving yourself right now. You have to credit yourself. You have to give you what you deserve. You know, sometimes we still fall in that expectation of letting other people control our internal powers. Well, it's not going to happen here anymore. You've gotten to the right place. It's been an amazing episode here on the Comfort Zone 360. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't stop working towards your goals. Don't stop. If you do stop, we all know what will happen. Nothing will come out of it. But if you keep going, you don't know who you truly can be. The power of change is strong. It can change your day, it can change your week, your month, your year, a lifetime. Don't stop moving forward. Don't stop taking steps towards the goals you need to take. Be the best you. And never give up on your dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, my name's Davey. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning into today's podcast. It is truly an honor for you guys just to be here and share these incredible messages with you guys. If you gained any value from today's podcast, can you please guys just like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so that you can stay up to date with amazing other episodes that we have coming your way. We also have amazing guest speakers coming on the show to just continue spreading just amazing words that can be simplified for anyone to utilize just on an everyday basis. So please keep shining, keep being the best you, don't give up on your dreams, and until next time guys, thank you so much.